Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie. Welcome to this Spellbinders card making project. Today we're going to use some of our gorgeous new products for the new set of projects that I'm going to make in the next weeks and months. The list is already on my blog, so please check it out, and all the items that I do use with every project I always put on the project page on my blog. Feel free to comment and let me know what you think, and if in doubt you can always find me on Facebook as well. So the items that we're going to use in this project are label 33, nice set of 4 dies, nice stacking and layering dies, going to be very useful in our projects. We've got the gorgeous cut and emboss ornamental doily, 3 dies, and these are just going to turn any of your projects into a work of art. And then we've got some gorgeous new stamps. These are called the Tiny Sentiments, and there's lots of different sentiments, including I love you, best wishes, congratulations, sorry, congrats, not congratulations, with much love. These are going to work on the inside of our card and the outside. So these are going to feature quite heavily, I think, in some of our projects. So let's get going. The first thing, as always, we need is our base card, and this is a 7x5 inch ivory blank card base, and this is how it looks on our cardometer. Just slightly smaller than the A5 in size and bigger than the A6, and I know in different countries those are different sizes, but it gives you just an idea of getting perspective at home of how the card size is. So the first thing I'm going to do before we do the insert is I'm just simply going to run my bone folder along the edge of the card, and this gives the card a nice professional finish and a good crease so it'll stand up nicely. Even though they've probably been factory creased, we just want to make sure it's a nice neat edge. So let's make our insert. Now I think this is a very pretty and simple insert, even though there's a little bit of work to it. Now the first thing I've done, I've used Spellbinders Rectangles B set to cut out a base layer in ivory, and I've cut out the aperture of the second doily die. When I say the second, it's a set of 3, and that's the biggest, that's the second, and then there's your tiny embellishment. So I've used the second one, which is the slightly smaller one, and I've got tape on the back of it. Now I'm just going to move our base card, because for the time being we're just going to set this to one side, and I want to show you something else. I've already cut a square of floral paper. Now this is from a range called Dovecraft, and it's Serendipity. I've also cut out an ivory doily, the second size in the set, and then I've used our label set, the smallest one, and I've stamped congrats in pink ink on it. I've run it all through my Xyron machine, and the first thing I'm going to do is peel off the square of floral paper. So there we go. Now next what I'm going to do is I'm going to position this so that I can see the floral. I haven't taken the tape off the ivory, but I just want to make sure that it's going to be in the right place. So now I can take off the 2 strips of tape and position this over the aperture. I hope I'm explaining this okay for you. So that way it's covered, and now I can add this to the centre of the card. And that way I know it's in the right place and it's showing the colour. So that's our first step really. Now where we've cut the aperture for the doily, and this is the doily that we've cut out, I'm going to pop the doily back in the aperture like that, so that you can just see the touch of colour through the doily. And then I'm going to add the little congrats sentiment over the top of the doily. Now, because they're all flat layers, it's not building up, and you've used flat glue, so there's no extra bulk, but it just gives that extra bit of something to your insert, and it's going to match perfectly to the outside. So now we can turn our attention to the outside. Use my bone folder again to make sure that crease is nice and sharp. And my base layer for the outside is a piece of the matching floral paper. I've taken the centre out of it because it's all going to be covered through the centre, and the centre that I've used there is actually part of the floral paper that we used for the inside, so nothing gets wasted, and I'm kind of being economical with my papers. So I can take the tape off the back of this, and I know a lot of you worry about, if you're frugal with your paper, will you be able to tell that you've been frugal? No, not at all, because we've got something that's going to go over the centre and it's going to cover that, so you will never know. So that covers that over nicely, like that, building up the layers on the front of the card. Next, in using the same floral paper, I've cut out a really pretty scallop, and I'm going to just add that through the centre of my card. Then I've used the big doily die. Now this is such a pretty die, and the work on it, when you take it through the cutting machine and then you emboss it and you pick up all the fine details, it's just so pretty. So I'm going to add this over the top of the scallop that I've just cut, like that. And then I've got a strip of a pretty matching floral paper that again is from the Serendipity range, from Dovecraft. I've got tape on the back of it, and I'm just going to run it through the centre of the card, and then I'm just going to snip off the excess at each end, like so. There we go, so we've got a nice band through the centre. Next, I've cut another scallop in the same floral paper, and then the smaller doily from the range, I've cut it and then I've embossed it. Again, it picks up the very fine detail on it. Such a beautiful set of dies. So I'm just going to add that through the centre of our scallop, like that. And then I'm going to finish off again with the smaller of our label dies that I've stamped the same sentiment as the centre. But this time, just for effect, I've used a black ink pad. There we go. And now I'm just simply going to add 2 bows at either side in a gorgeous green that matches the green on the paper, and that is our card finished. Such a pretty card, and now you've seen it all come together, very easy. Inside matches perfectly to the outside. You've got lots of room to write your message. It could be new baby, it could be graduation card, it could be passing your driving test, it could be any number of things. It's not too floral to be specifically a female, but you could adapt it and use masculine papers for a guy. So lots of room for your message. It stands up nicely. It will go in a normal envelope, because you've only got the foam under the centre, and it's just such a pretty card. I do hope you like it. I hope you like the ideas and you know what to do, because I love doing it. I love showing you different ideas of how to work with your different products and your different things from your different companies, just to give you a little bit of inspiration. If you want to check out my blog, please do, because there's so many other projects on there. You can always find me on Facebook, and I'd just like to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.